I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting of January 25th, 2024 to order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask our Deputy Clerk Richards to take roll call.
Mayor Gunter?
Here.
Clerk Simsky is absent. Trustee Barker?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Guzzo?
Here.
Trustee Little?
Here.
Trustee Nero?
Here.
Trustee Simonovich?
Present.
Attorney Zemanek?
Here.
Village Manager May?
Here.
Assistant Village Manager Parker?
Here.
Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. The first item, open forum. I don't know if there's anybody here who wants to speak to the board on something not on the agenda. Now's the time. Seeing no one, I'll close open forum and move on to reports. And I'm going to ask Chief Gunther to come up. This is always the pleasure to have this opportunity.
Thank you, Mayor. It's always exciting when we swear in a new member of the police department, and tonight we have Officer Glenn Blaylock, who has joined our police department in the last less than 2 months. He's currently in field training and is a local Westmont resident. So, not only does he live in town, but now he gets to protect and serve his community. So we're super happy to have him. His wife is also a police officer, and I don't know if you've heard, but we have some openings. It's always great to have the Police and Fire Commission, the Fire and Police Commission in attendance to witness one of the members that they hire that becomes a member of our police department. And as we talked at the last meeting, the Fire and Police Commission are working extremely hard at several different levels in order to make sure that we have really good, rock-solid police officers serving our community. So with that, I will have Officer Blaylock come on up. And Mayor, if you can give him the oath of office.
I'll do that. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Glenn Blaylock,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the laws of DuPage County,
the laws of DuPage County,
the Westmont Village Code of Ordinances,
the Westmont Village Code of Ordinances,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties for the office of police officer
the duties for the office of police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
So as tradition, we'll have the pinning of the star.
We gotta get it.
Do you want someone to take a picture with your phone?
Two cuties tonight, the little boy.
Give it to the guy right there. Bigger. You look in the spot. You still want to be a police officer?
Yes.
Yes. That's a nice.
All right, I have a few more here. All right. Ready? Camera one. You got that one. And ready for camera two. There we go. Ready? 1, 2, and. A couple like this. And we're good. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I am truly honored to be here today. First, I would like to say thank you to the mayor, village manager, Board of Fire and Police Commissioners, along with Chief Gunther and the entire police command staff. I also want to say thank you to my training officers who have guided me to be the best police officer I can be here at Westmont. I have served as a police officer for almost 9 years, but I am truly glad to be serving closer to my home. I'm a current resident of Westmont and look forward to serving the department as well as our community. I also want to say thank you to my wife who has supported me through every step of the process in becoming a Westmont police officer. Thank you again for everyone, to everyone for this opportunity. And lastly, I'd like to conclude with one of my favorite quotes from Zig Ziglar. It's not where you start, but where you finish that counts.
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Congratulations and welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and welcome.
And as tradition, we have coffee and cake pops in the ante room.
Meeting's adjourned.
How'd you get those?
You guys get them after the meeting, so if
All right.
everybody that's going to do that can
Welcome
come on
in.
over, we'll slide on out of here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief.
Big day.
And while they're adjourning to the little reception, I have a couple other items. Sewer cleanup recap. I'd like to invite Chief Riley, talk about this operation again.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it's the same report I just gave, but just a real quick recap again. Last Thursday evening, we were dispatched to 6362 South Cass for a noxious odor coming out of the storm sewer. That evening, we shut down a bunch of businesses in that area. We had the owner of that property reach out to a third-party cleanup company to clean up the storm sewer. They did that early Friday morning, late Friday afternoon. The product was still coming into the storm sewer, so we activated the Mavis 10 hazmat team along with members of the village to assist with this detecting what the product is. This product is found in paint and varnish. So currently we are still investigating with some businesses in the area to try to see what was going on, if we have some illegal dumping, and once I have some more information, I'll report back to the board.
Thanks, Chief.
Questions?
No, thank you. Metra changes. Visit our website, village's website at westmont.illinois.gov for links to information about the new Metra changes regarding travel zones and fares. It's on our website, just came out. I'm going to turn to Deputy Clerk Richards.
I have one item. The village offices will be closed on February 19th.
Thank you. Trustee Simonovich, the Police Public Safety.
Earlier this evening, we had our Police Public Safety Committee meeting. I would like to extend our congratulations to Detective Sergeant Rolando Padilla on being the 2023 Employee of the Year for the Police Department. We also received an excellent report from the Chief, the 2023 Annual Report, highlighting the outstanding work the department does to keep our community safe. This report will be posted to the website, and I encourage the public to review it and see that our community is in good hands. Next, the DuPage County is hosting a senior scams presentation on January 31st to highlight various scams that target our seniors. Everyone is invited to this free presentation. More information can be found on the village website. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Brady, Community
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Development.
The next Community Development Committee meeting will be scheduled for February 8th, the Village Hall. It will include a 2023 year-end update. The next regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is scheduled for February 14th. Revisions to the Heritage Tree Ordinance are planned for tonight's meeting. The Downtown Incentive Program funding awards are expected to be awarded in late February or early March. I However, applications are still being accepted. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Johannek Guzzo, Fire, Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next Fire Public Safety Committee meeting will be Thursday, March 7th, 4:30 here at Village Hall. Everyone is invited to attend. And the Citizens Fire Academy. Sign up is open for this year's Fire Academy. This is a 5-week course starting April 11th. More information and sign up is available on our village website. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Trustee Barker, Environmental Improvement Committee and Westmont First.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next Environmental Improvement Committee meeting will be February 5th at 5:30 here in Village Hall. We also have announcement regarding the recyclings and more events. There will be 2 electronics and more special recycling events in 2024. The first one being April 6th and the second being November 23rd. There are complete details published on the village website. At the EIC meetings, we are currently organizing our goals for 2024, and we should hopefully resolve that at our next meeting, and then we'll be able to pass those on to the board, things that the committee is going to look for and improvements for the village of Westmont. And then lastly, holiday lights recycling is continuing. The program is going through January 31st, so you have a little bit more time. At the Westmont Library and Johannek Fire Station is where the drop boxes are located. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Little, Administration and Finance.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be held February the 22nd at 4:30 right here at Village Hall. The Park District has a winter beer fest that will be held at Ty Warner Park, and it will be on Saturday, February the 17th. For ticket information, please visit the Park District website. Illinois Reads on February the 3rd. The entire community is invited to attend the Illinois Reads program when it comes back to Westmont on February the 3rd. If you have a love for reading, then please attend. Details have been published on the village website. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. And Trustee Nero, Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items. Our next Public Works Committee meeting is going to be March 21st, 4:30, right here at Village Hall. And a big thank you to all our Public Works staff for their continued dedication on all the snow and ice removal that we've had the past few weeks. And also, thanks to all the residents for their patience during this process. I know that trucks are out, and again, it's not an easy job, but we appreciate everything that they do for us. And then last but not least, we're going to have a special meeting to discuss the village's capital improvement program. It's going to be the same night as Trustee Little's admin committee on February 22nd, right here at 4:30. So we're going to kind of do both at once. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Items removed from the consent agenda. Any board members see any? If not, I'll ask Manager May to please read.
Thank you. This evening, the consent agenda begins with village board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held January 11, 2024. Next is finance ordinance number 20 in the amount of $4,080,501.45. There are no separate purchase orders, so the total remains the same. Last on the consent agenda under community events is 2024 Illinois Reads banner. Board to consider a motion to allow the Community Unit School District 201 to hang a banner in the downtown district promoting Illinois Reads 2024. And I'll just add this permission is they provide the banner, Public Works
Puts it up.
installs it.
Installs it. And that concludes.
It does conclude, thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Brady. On the question. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to unfinished business, rezoning, subdivision, and residential variances for 329 East 56th Street. Board to consider an ordinance approving request from Arcade Development LLC regarding the property at 329 East 56th Street for the following. 1, a map amendment to rezone from R1 Single Family Detached Residence District to an R3 Single Family Detached Resident District. 2, zoning ordinance variance to allow for the construction of new homes within a required front yard setback in an R3 single-family detached residence district. 3, Westmont Land Development Ordinance variance to allow the establishment of 2 lots of a standard lot depth, substandard lot depth. And 4, preliminary and final plat of subdivision to subdivide 1 lot into 2 lots. And I got Director Henderfine to give us
Thank you,
more
Mr. Mayor and
information.
Board. So if you remember, this was first opened at the January 11th Village Board meeting. So I won't go as in-depth as I normally do, so I'm not repeating anything. But really what is before you is, first, it's a rezoning from our large lot zoning district to our smaller lot zoning district, which is a fairly standard request, and it is in this area, so it meets the conditions of a rezoning. Variance for the house to sit in the front yard setback. So what it is our normal setbacks are 35 feet. They're requesting to go to 25. We actually have many exceptions in our code that allow people to go to 25 if the neighboring house is 25. Although the houses across the street on Ryan Court are at 25, we can't include those in our analysis, so they have to make a request for the variance formally. They're turning the houses to face Ryan Court, which is the narrower width of the lot. So they need a lot depth variance. But I wanted to state that these 2 lots that are being created do meet the minimum lot size. They're about 9,000 square feet. Our minimum lot size is 7,800 square feet. And if the developer was choosing to face the house, one house north to 56, one house south to the cul-de-sac that's on Ryan, the variance request would likely not be requested. What drives the variance requests is the developer feels that facing the houses on the less traveled street makes them more desirable. So, and kind of wrapping all this up, it is a plat of subdivision. So they are dividing 1 lot into 2. So there's a preliminary and final plat of subdivision. What Trustee Barker had requested that staff go and look at is coordinate with the Parks Department to see if there was any interest in the property for the Parks Department. So in your staff report, in the board memo, the last page is a response from the Parks Department indicating they did not have an interest in the property. And I'm always available for questions, and the petitioner's here as well.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second, Nero.
Motion made, second. On the question, Trustee Barker.
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to thank the board for supporting me in holding this over to give the parks an opportunity. I thought that, I appreciate that. I felt that that was the right thing to do at the time. I also want to say that I was able to take questions that I had regarding the property. I talked to our newly appointed Community Development Director. We had a great conversation. He absolutely answered all my questions, explained planning and zoning to me in great detail. It's a class I think we all should take, right? But Joe did a great job, and I can say that I support this, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And then I did want to say that, you know, the petitioner, I wish him well if this passes, and I hope it didn't create a hardship. But all in all, I'm convinced that we did the right thing through this. We worked the process like we should, and hopefully he'll get some nice homes over there and people will want them. All right, but thank you.
Any other comments? Trustee Green.
I would say, we both know that the property was really in terrible shape with the building overgrown foliage, and they had to go to court to get this over with. And I think it'll enhance the area. It's 2 nice homes. It's a blank area, right? It's not really, it should be a park. And I think it won't increase traffic. One neighbor said it'll increase traffic. It's only 2 homes. It's on a, you know, it's on a cul-de-sac building. So I think it's a great idea, and I'm looking forward to it.
Good. I don't know if the property owners want anything to say, or no? And I do have to compliment them for working with us to demolish it and clean that site up. So if no further questions from the audience, none, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to new business. A, reduce and increase number of liquor license. Board to consider ordinance reducing and increasing the number of available liquor license due to the liquor license class change requested by Taste Greek Street Food, 645 North Cass Avenue in Westmont. One, we're going to reduce the number of available Class 4 liquor license by one, and increase the number of available Class 3 liquor license by one. And this is a process we go through all the time, and I turn it over to Deputy Liquor Commissioner Mulhern.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Village Board. Taste Creek Street Food at 645 North Cass is requested to change their current Class 4 license to a Class 3 to be able to serve all liquors. Right now, they're limited to beer and wine. They wish to serve all liquors. The Deputy Liquor Commission and myself and the Commissioner, we find nothing that would prevent this from happening. I have representatives from Taste Creek Street Food here to express why they would want it. Main reason why is they want to be able to sell pre-mixed cans either for on-site consumption or for takeout home orders of all liquors. So, it's yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mulhern. Good evening, everyone.
Come up to the microphone. There you go.
Good evening, thank you guys all. Basically, yes, we are looking for the prepackaged liquor, as Mr. Mulhern discussed. We feel it would complement our patio outside and invite people into the store and hopefully spend more time in the store versus taking home. Right?
And we have a number of these licenses that is part of that license for other businesses too. So this isn't new, this goes with the license.
No, it's over time, businesses change. I think you guys mentioned this about a year or so to me, but it took a while for them to get to this point. It's nothing new, it's not something, as a matter of fact, you'll see this probably about another month. I have another business right now that wishes to do the same thing.
Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Simonovich?
Motion made and seconded. Any comments? Your mobile unit, do you
Yes.
take that out a lot?
Pre-booked events or fests for the summer is what we're looking to line up. We'd like to line up as much as possible.
Okay, and we did a great job at
We appreciate
East
it.
of Westmont.
Did you bring it tonight?
I'm sorry?
Here now? Because they're pretty hungry.
I will say if you haven't, their gyros are outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, their food's amazing.
Phenomenal.
Thank you all.
Yeah, that is one of my husband's favorite things, is to come up and get his gyro on a Friday night.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
You've done a
Appreciate it.
great job in the front and everywhere, so I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
all. Thank you very much, thank you.
New business B, increase in available Class 2 liquor license. Board to consider ordinance increasing the number of available Class 2 liquor license by one to accommodate Whiskey Hill Brewery and Kitchen at 5 West Quincy Street here in Westmont. Deputy Liquor Commissioner Mulhern.
Evening, Mayor, again, and Village Board. The village received a liquor license application from Whiskey Hill Brewery and Kitchen at 5 West Quincy. There's a address change we found at the last second. For a Class 2 liquor license, this location will also feature limited on-site brewing of beer as well as a restaurant and bar. The applicants are also the same owners of Whiskey Hill Brewing down on Zigmund Circle, which has been in existence for some time, and a background review was done. There's no one here from the business, and there's no applicant, so I will make their pitch for them, I guess. This is a business that not only residents but businesses in the area have long awaited for. I'm sure board members and myself have been asked, if not daily, weekly, when are they going to open, when are they going to open, when are they going to open? And so now we understand that they want to open sometime in early February. We had heard that their target date, and we don't know for sure, but it sounds legitimate, would be Super Bowl Sunday, which is coming in a couple weeks. They do plan on having a small brew-type operation. The way that was described to me was that people like to see someone brewing on, Fridays and Saturdays. So that's when their brewmaster will be there brewing. It won't be there to supply all the alcohols. That'll happen from the brewery down on Zygmunt Circle, which also has a tasting room too. But here will be, just so you have there's some type of brewing. They will have a tasting room. They have a dining room. And I've heard to expect nothing but great things from them. And one last thing here would be is that nothing rose to the level that would legally prohibit the mayor from issuing a license. And in speaking with the mayor, he is inclined to issue a liquor license for this location.
And again, it's 5 West Quincy is the ground floor of Quincy Station, so it's going to be a full-service restaurant.
The building owner's with us?
Yeah, the building owner's here. Nope, nothing?
Even if the applicant's not?
Yeah.
No, if there was any questions.
On holidays here?
Yeah, he's here.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, that's okay.
Also, they will be partaking in the outside dining area. That still hasn't yet to be completed and is still in a work in progress.
Trustee Barker.
Waiting on me.
I'm sorry, you're working on it, but they will participate in that, and again, too, it is a highly anticipated business.
Trustee Barker has a question.
Yes, sir.
How many locations do they have, restaurant type?
In talking to Mr. Weil, he owns Firewater Barbecue locations, and you'll see them, he had told me he owns about 9 of them. I know they have one out in Geneva. I've visited the one it's on Roosevelt Road in Lombard in a little small strip mall. Excellent food. Barbecue, it's all barbecue, so they'll give Uncle Bubs a run for their money. And he also just opened one recently at North and Route 83. It's in the northeast corner. Where the other ones are, I don't know. Mr. Salerno, if you know of Salerno's Pizzas in the Chicagoland area, it's my understanding that Mr. Salerno has branched away from the family, so the family does Salerno's Pizza, as does Mr. Salerno. He owns about 9 different locations, so between the two of them, they're in excess of 15 restaurant locations.
We just got to get the doors open then.
Yeah, Mr. Salerno does the pizzas, does it quite well, I might add. I know if you go to the Seven Bridges ice skating rink, there's a Whiskey Hill Kitchen or Whiskey Hill Brewery there. That's Mr. Salerno's. It's not Mr. Wiles, that's Mr. Salerno's. But it's my understanding that the brews, and maybe if you know, the brew down in Zygmunt Circle supplies all the brews for all their other locations, as well as for the brewery itself and Wolfer here. So they are expanding. Last I heard from Matt, he was sending me things about they were like in the top 10 in the Chicagoland area for breweries. It's very, very popular. So,
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second Little?
Motion made, second. Additional comments? I just have to say, don't you worry about your ankle twisting when you're ice skating?
no, today is my knee, so I don't know. I just don't get old. Just don't get old.
No other questions? I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Motion passes. I'd like to congratulate them, but they're not here.
No, yeah, it's right. Can I hobble away now?
Yeah, hobble away. Moving on, new business. C, amendments to Chapter 80 and 86 of the Municipal Code, Tree Preservation. Board to consider an ordinance approving amendments to Chapter 80 and 86 regarding heritage tree preservation and related clarifications. And I'm ready to call the president of Riverside up, but I guess I'm going to have Director Henner find.
I'm just going to introduce. So I'm going to call up Doug Pollack, who's a consultant for us. You recognize him as he was our interim director for probably 9 months. So he had been working closely with the Public Works Department for that time. So we asked him to come in and give the final presentation on this to the board. So I'll invite Doug up and let him.
This is his final day then.
This is his final day. It's your last chance to criticize Riverside.
But literally, the president's the mayor in Riverside, and I want to congratulate him for,
Thank you.
just as long as you don't use Westmont as bad examples.
No worries there. Thank you. I've got my city planner hat on this evening now. So you'll recall that the Community Development Committee has discussed this at 2 separate meetings. beginning on August 24th and again on November 2nd. Before, during, and after those committee meetings, we spent a lot of time with the Public Works Department, John Yater, our forester, and Amy Reese, our Public Works Director, looking at the tree preservation regulations and how we could make them better suited to, and to ensure they are reflective of the board's desires and also are understandable. The red line version you have of the draft, I would say 90% or more of those red lines are reorganization, moving things around, eliminating redundancies, and those do not represent any substantive changes to the ordinance. But there were some significant changes that I want to highlight, beginning with the preservation of and replacement of non-heritage trees. Mostly we focus on heritage trees, but there's another chapter in the, or article in the ordinance that references preservation and replacement of non-heritage trees. We came to the CDC and asked for clarification of what your intent in that language was and is, and you indicated that your intent was that apply to commercial developments primarily, not single-family homes, but any commercial or larger development project. So we rephrased it to clarify that the tree preservation, non-heritage tree preservation regulations apply only to developments that require site plan approval under the zoning ordinance. And so that excludes single-family, individual single-family lots. It would include a major subdivision, it would include a new commercial building, a new commercial parking lot, and other non-residential type of developments. So that is in the category of clarification of the board's intent and policy. Likewise, under the heritage tree section, the ordinance talks about exceptions where a heritage tree can be removed, but it wasn't clear, it was implied, but it wasn't clear that under those exceptions, does that mean they have to be replaced? At the CDC meeting, your direction was that no, if a heritage tree is in a building area, it can be removed without replacement. So we attempted to clarify that language to make it clear that, one, that if a heritage tree is in the middle of a building area, that it may be removed without replacement, but also to just clearly define all the circumstances under which a heritage tree may be removed. And those circumstances are, one, if the heritage tree meets the definition of a nuisance, meaning it's dead or dying and has the potential to fall and damage property or persons, and nuisance is clearly defined elsewhere in the code. Two, a property owner has the right to unilaterally remove a heritage tree, but they have to replace it. So if someone, for whatever reason, comes to the village and says, I want to remove this heritage tree, but they're not building something, it's not in a building pad or building area, we would tell them, well, if you remove it, you have to replace it at the new 1-to-1 ratio, which I'll get to in a minute. And then finally, clarifying that, again, that a heritage tree within a building area may be removed without replacement. And we spelled out some more specific text in the ordinance to make that clear. Again, like the non-heritage tree replacement, this was more clarifying the board's intent and not really changing what the ordinance and the way it had been administered in the past. And finally, and this is a significant policy change in the ordinance, the CDC directed staff to change the replacement ratio from 3 inches per 1 inch removed to a 1-to-1 ratio. The village has received a lot of complaints and a lot of concerns from property owners and developers that the 3-to-1 ratio was onerous, that it was extremely costly was out of line with, and had the potential to hinder development or discourage any new development. So the ordinance, that section of the ordinance was changed again from a replacement ratio of 3 inches for each 1 inch removed to a ratio of 1 inch per 1 inch removed. So if a 24-inch tree is removed, it means that 6 or 8 4-inch trees have to be planted in its place or paid for into the village's, paid to the village for future planting of trees. And then finally, again, this is cleanup, reorganization. We relocated some of the new landscaping requirements. These chapters have in them description of what new trees, bushes, plants have to be planted for new developments. We moved that to the end because staff will be coming back to you in the future recommending that that be entirely moved into the zoning code. And at that time, as part of your zoning ordinance update, you'll look at the details of new landscaping requirements for new developments and update those, but also move them into the zoning ordinance, which is more typical because it is part of new development, regulating new development. So that concludes my remarks. Be happy to answer any questions, and of course, Joe is here, as John Yater as well, if you have any questions for them.
I think you covered
I
most of
just
it.
have a
Go ahead,
question.
trustee Brady.
Is there a new insect that's out now affecting the oak trees? I understand there's a called two-lined chestnut borer.
I will
That's just
defer to
affecting
Mr.
certain type
Yater
of
for that
trees?
one.
Is there anything we can do to, is it serious, or what do you know?
So, to answer your question, trustee Brady, two-line chestnut borer has been around this area for a long, long time. It's a native pest, I believe, and typically it only attacks stressed oak trees. It's very specific to oak and chestnut, but it only attacks stressed oak trees, similar to the two that you have in your parkway. When we've had
Are his stressed?
they were. So we had a large, I wouldn't say a large infestation because our oak population isn't that heavy in this area, but we had a huge drought back in 2012. Really stressed out some of our more, I said mesic, like wet type site required oak trees. So swamp white oak and English oak in particular. Your two are English oak, and what that happened there, they stressed out. Two-line chestnut borer came in and actually attacked these trees. That's why all that dieback occurred. The trees were able to recover in most cases, as yours, but obviously we did a reduction cut on those. So two-line chestnut borer in itself isn't really anything to worry about. It's actually, in a ecological sense, it's very beneficial because when those trees get stressed out, two-line chestnut borer comes in, helps take those trees out, and just kind of continues that cycle. It is related to emerald ash borer, but that's an exotic. Two-line chestnut borer is a native insect in this area.
So could we suppress it by using any kind of fertilizer?
You can, it's not fertilizer, it would be herbicide, actually pesticide specifically, but there is a pesticide specific to that. It's very similar to what we use on emerald ash borer. Typically, we only use that when it's necessary to do so, when those trees are in a kind of a time period where they would be stressed out. So again, extensive drought conditions is usually what does it for those.
Because I have two English oaks in the parkway. I'm trying to save those trees the best I can.
As are we.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the amendments?
Motion?
Second, Little.
Motion made and second. Additional comments? Question, anybody in the audience?
Before you all make your vote, can I make a few comments?
You're in the audience, yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
So Bruce did a very good job of going through everything but the public side of the ordinance. So I just wanted to touch on that so you all understand, I guess, what you're approving as far as that's concerned. Because in his comments...
Can I stop you for a second?
Yes, sir.
Just one second. So I was going to ask a question, but this is a lot, looking at it from the EIC, this is a lot to digest. So I'm sitting over here trying to figure out what kind of question to ask, so I appreciate you coming up to the podium.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Keep going.
So we did make a number of edits to our parkway, so the public right-of-way portion of the ordinance. So just want to make you aware that if you look at that section in particular, you'll see a lot of crossed out lines. As Bruce mentioned, a lot of that is getting rid of redundancy, repetition, kind of useless regulation on ourselves, really. But we did bump up enforcement capability quite a bit, specifically through the construction process. So we look to bump up our protection of our own trees, so public property trees, all around, not just through the construction process. But it lays out, instead of requiring contractors to plant through the building process, they'll now pay a fee in lieu of to do so. So we can do that and just incorporate it in our regular planting. That would save a tremendous amount of staff time in overseeing that planting and coordinating with the contractors. Now just take that fee and we'll be able to do it ourselves with our own planting. The other portion of it that really helps us out is actually laying out valuation for our trees. So there's a guide to plant appraisal. It's put together by the Illinois Landscape Plant Appraisal Committee, I believe. It's a really long acronym, but and actually the formula to go through and do this is pretty extensive, but it gives us a realistic value of what those plants are actually worth. So that's a benefit as well. And we also lay out a specific penalty for damage and or removal of a parkway tree that was unapproved. And that value is $300 per inch diameter. It's very, when I was up here the last meeting talking to you all, you wanted to know kind of what other communities do. So I looked around at surrounding communities. Downers Grove seemed to be I would say the most up and coming, if you will. They just did their most recent ordinance update in 2019, and their valuation for their parkway trees is $275 per inch diameter. So I figure with the cost of inflation over that really, really crazy period of time, we put that at $300 an inch to reflect that. So
You said that was like the punitive one, right, for
correct.
Yeah.
damaging our property?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if it's something that we would approve through the permitting process at Public Works, it goes to the actual valuation of the tree itself through the landscape committee.
So that's good. We're in line with Downers and probably other communities.
For sure. So those are the major changes to the public protections in the ordinance. And again, a lot of that is just getting rid of clarity, or not getting rid of clarity, making it more clear, making it more user-friendly so people can go to one spot and be able to find where all that information is. So,
Any additional questions? Anybody? Roll call, please.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes?
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Motion passes. Doug, good luck in Riverside. I appreciate your time here. New business D, purchase agreement for a fire truck. Board to consider ordinance approving the purchase agreement with McQueen Equipment LLC for one Pierce Velocity Pumper fire engine. Chief Riley.
Thank you, Mayor. This contract is to have apparatus and equipment built with the Village of Westmont specifications in accordance with the state and local regulations. The purchase price is $1,084,837, and this would be with 3 installment payments, the first one starting at $390,000. I brought this to you about a month and a half ago here, just to be transparent that I was very concerned with the price of this fire truck, along with some other things, but along with Spencer's help and the attorney's help with the purchase agreement, I'm very happy to say that we did look at a couple other manufacturers. Obviously, Westmont is an all-Pierce fleet, and we'd like to keep it that way. The continuity of the membership being part-time versus full-time, all the bells and whistles and levers and all that stuff is all in the same place, so we'd like to keep it that way. In the purchase agreement, it talks about the deal would be 45 and a half to 48 and a half months. Once this document is hopefully approved by you folks tonight, the salesperson says that it'll take about 38 to 40 months, which is right in line with the vehicle replacement program.
So the concerns in the beginning wasn't just the price, but they're also forecasting price changes.
Correct.
And then the 4-year wait.
Yep. And Mr. Parker, if you'd like to add, or the attorney, anything?
Sure. So in terms of those price increases, we did get them to cap it and say that those price increases for inflation wouldn't go up more than $10,000 beyond the purchase price. So we've got that capped, which was a big concern to just have that out there as could be endless amounts of money. So we're grateful for that. And then we've also got them to allow us to do a payment where we make a payment now, then we make a payment in a year, and then our final payment only comes once we have the vehicle in possession. So that was another key point.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Guzzo.
Second.
Motion made, second. Additional comments? Trustee Barker.
So this, if this one gets approved, how soon before we see another one of these?
Well, when Deputy Chief O'Hare was here, we were in a 5-year rotation, so the engines would be frontline for 10 years and then go in reserve for 5. With Deputy Chief Fitzgerald now on board, we're going to refigure that. We think we can get a lot more miles and time out of these vehicles, along with Virgil Viscuso, the mechanic. The one that was in Chief Gunther's presentation tonight is a 2009. That one was involved in an accident about 1.5 years ago, just under $100,000 damage. If not, I would have thought about refurbing that one, but with Virgil's recommendation is we should outright sell it. So I don't have an exact answer for you if I'm going to try to go 8 years out versus the 5
You're
that
looking
we originally
into
had.
it.
Part of that is we've got more in-house abilities to do preventative maintenance as well with the new facility, so.
Especially with the
Better
mechanics that we have
position
also.
to stretch this.
Yeah, so I'd like to, just like the ladder truck before was 7 years, this one is 10 years. I'd like to try to, push these out as far as we can. Obviously, depends what happens with this industry and how, the pricing of these vehicles continue to go up. I'm surprised it's not at DuPage mayors and managers to start sharing resources because of the cost of these vehicles. And we have to do our due diligence to make that happen, so. Unfortunately, we are very busy, nonstop, so you'll hear our report next month or in March, but, currently we're at 456 runs in the first week or first month in January. We'll probably top 500, which would be our most ever, but, the more wear and tear on these, there's also things that we have to look at.
You got 60,000-mile tires on this one, right?
Probably 30.
And I've been waiting for this. Trustee Guzzo.
She's got a question, yes. And I should probably know this. My father's going to slap me upside the head. In a year, about how many miles do we put on a typical engine?
About 15 to 18,000.
But those are hard miles because you're looking at the size of the vehicle plus what everything else that's on it and...
So obviously, stop and start, we take an engine out the door for 10 minutes, we run it hot, we come back, we shut it off. That's hard.
Yeah.
Because of the way these are built and with death situations, and we have to clean them out every week on a weekly that vehicle's due. We run it I-55 all the way down to Route 126 and back. So that's putting a lot of extra miles on it, but that keeps it clean for us also, so we don't have all these warning signals and it's in the shops more and changing oil and filters and stuff to that nature. So on Virgil's recommendation, we have to run it. We run it hot to get all those carcinogens and stuff out of that engine so we can run it that 10 minutes and then put it back in the bay.
Thank you.
Thanks, good question.
Any additional comments, questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to new business E, engineering agreement, Phase 2 design engineering for 2024 MFT resurfacing project. Board to consider ordinance authorizing an engineering agreement with Prima Primera Engineering for Phase 2 Design Engineering for the 2024 MFT resurfacing project. And you got Director Reese.
This is a request to approve the sum of $26,280 for Phase 2 Design Engineering for the 2024 MFT resurfacing project. The agreement will include meeting coordination, site visit, data gathering, preparation of exhibits and quantities, bid documents, technical specifications, cost estimate, and bidding assistance. We'd like to proceed right away with construction to start in May and be concluded prior to Labor Day.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Nero.
Second, Nero. On the question. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on, is there any miscellaneous? I do have to say, several of us attended the Winter Ball, and it was great. Congratulations to Larry Forsberg. That was a great event at Oak Brook Hills Hilton last Saturday. So seeing no other miscellaneous business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Little?
Second, Guzzo?
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Again, thank everyone. This meeting is adjourned.